Hello, every pony. This is the new 26 Harmony Kingdom. And it's time for the season to end. Season 7 has been confirmed, so naturally we'll be doing all this again. It's funny how a series that has gone 144 deep has evolved throughout the years. How the evolution of characters, time, events, moments have been shown. Most animated shows live in a bubble. This one doesn't. And it's often in the season premieres and finales where this lack of a bubble exists. To Where and Back Again shows this bubble in a big way. Much like the openers and closers of the past, this one's big. 2 parts big. But, as is custom for the new 26 rules, we do 2-parters in one. So, how does the finale stack up to the other finales that have defined this series? From the birth of Rainbow Power in Twilight's Kingdom to Twilight's Alicorn Ascension and Magical Mystery Cure. To the war/wedding that is a Canterlot wedding. And so on. And even last season with the Cutie Remark. In terms of the finales, I would put this one above Cutie Remark and even above A Canterlot Wedding, which this episode is a sequel to. Why? Chrysalis has returned. Finally, after 4 seasons of not seeing her present, she is now. And she's got a massive plot for revenge. But who to stop? Well, the villains that have been reformed before. Throughout the history of this show, many villains, in fact, all of them, have been reformed at one point or another. This can often be viewed by the fandom as a criticism, that there's no true one villain, that all villains must be reformed. But then again, this is a kids show, so at least from my point of view, I understand it. But I can see the reason and why we debate this. But the main morals of To Where and Back Again are about not only the pressures of leadership, but more or less the pressures of reformation. What happens to somebody that goes through a life-altering change, like leaving drugs or stop being a criminal, or even being more open-minded or more giving to people, more doing in society? The hardest thing about reforming or changing is resisting the urge to go back. Or sometimes it's even the pressure of not everyone understanding. It's the fear of different. It's the fear of the break of routine. It's the fear that once you taste the power that you have neglected, that you'll relapse, go back. The old adage of old habits die hard. And they truly do. For some people in life, we can't break our habits. We can't change. We can't allow ourselves to see a different avenue. We close doors. We close options. We say, that's impossible, and we leave it at that. But, from my perspective, if I ever believed that's impossible, or the door wasn't open for change, I would not be here right now. 2 years ago, I would have not made the decision to change my entire channel, to make the risk to talk about these episodes with you every week. It has been one of the smartest, bravest, and happiest decisions that I have ever made. And trust me, this is only the beginning of that. But for Starlight Glimmer, this is also the beginning of what it takes to truly take the next step. Now that she has accepted that the past is the past, there is a wide future for Starlight Glimmer. Wide as the day is young. But not only for her, but for all the other villains. Trixie, Discord, Cord, who have funny moments in this episode between each other, and naturally, John Delancey puts on a show as the Lord of Disharmony and Chaos. But the one that ends up stealing the show most of all is Kathleen Bard, doing a double job as not only Trixie but Chrysalis as well. Chrysalis' plan is truly devious. It's taking what happened in Canterlot Wedding and elevating it. And the fact that you don't know the plot or the reason why is even greater. But most of all, the season of Spike has come around full circle. Sure, Spike wasn't even a part of this episode or a reasoning, but the one friend, the big friend that he did make, is Thorax. Thorax's character has decided to be more open-minded, open to change. And with that openness to change, he has opened doors not only for himself, but for the entire new Changeling Kingdom. By the way, Hasbro, like the new Changeling designs, pony-like in form and in color, but still having the unique Changeling traits that we all know. Not a big change, subtle. It works very well here. And it shows not only a change in thinking, but a change in lifestyle. One that, yes, for the first time ever, the main villain remains a villain and plots revenge. Possibly season 7? But in the end, it's the act of strange bedfellows joining as one, putting aside all their differences, but not exactly. Still having room to grow, still having room to try to understand each other's weaknesses and strengths. But most of all, this shows that Starlight Glimmer, for all of her struggles and for all the trouble we have believing her to be a main part of the cast, which, sorry Hasbro, some of those struggles even now still exist. She is not free and out of the clear yet, but this is a big step in the right direction. A huge step. Showing that despite her own anxiety in her own nervousness of failure. Her belief in her friends, and most importantly, her friends' belief in her, allowed her to see what she's capable of. That she's not just someone with a lot of magical potential, but someone with real potential. Someone that could be a leader. Here's hoping in season 7 that wish is granted. Comedy is top notch, although as per the two-parters, the end resolution can be a bit rushed. But this is common of all the two-parters in pony history, and nothing has changed here. To Where and Back Again brings the story's plot of season 6 to a fanatical close by putting Starlight in a better place of faith than when she began at the beginning of season 6, while also opening and closing doors left behind by the end of season 5, but also showing how far the other reformed villains throughout the history of the show have come. How much they have learned, persevered, become better through their actions, and giving us a new kingdom to believe in. Not that everybody believes in it. Sometimes, not everything can be resolved in 22 minutes. Sometimes, it takes time. Much like a show that started 6 years ago. It took time. It grew. It's different. And for some, that may be too much. But for the rest of us that are in the fandom, opening our minds to what is different. Opening our minds to change in what seems impossible. Like a girl's show being written well, can open your eyes to make yourself different and make you strive to try to make the best of it, to begin something anew. And thus, we begin the long wait to once again become something anew. But here at N26, the job isn't done. We still have to rank them. But as for this one, I give To Where and Back Again the perfect score. For a season of ups and downs. For a season that saw the worst episode in the series. The end proves once again why this show is different. Because even when you think it's down, it finds a way to remind you why we're all here. Because we're all different. Because we're all open-minded. And that change is good. Even if there are moments of doubt. Being on the path of change is the difficult one. But when it opens a road to gold, as it did for some of us, for me, for all of us in the fandom, it's proof that change is good. A 6 out of 6. What are your thoughts on To Where and Back Again? Make sure to tune in at this spot next week as me and my friend David Owen decide to rank them, the top 10 of season 6 and the overall season ranking. Until next week, find peace in your own nirvana. May the road to seventh heaven be paved with gold and good intentions. Thanks for watching.